So, hi, I am KB with Nerdophiles. How are you?
Good, great to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too. Listen, the first three episodes are so wild of season three. So, first, now that we are kind of so far into this intricately woven story, whose character arc this season specifically did you find was kind of the hardest to craft?
You know, I think Terry's was challenging because he is in Detroit trying to figure out what kind of man and leader he wants to be. And also, we have a wonderful new villain in Henrietta. So that and always, I think what's hard is getting it was the brothers together because we know the fans and the audience love seeing the brothers together. So I think getting them to come together was always challenging, right? Because you want to tell the stories. This season is an epic tale of two cities, right?
Mhm.
Detroit and Atlanta, but we know these guys just pop together on screen, you know? So figuring out how to weave the stories was challenging.
Oh, yeah. I can tell because it's almost like two separate stories happening in tandem. And so, what I do like is how you guys have made Terry and Meech in constant communication.
Yes.
No matter what's going on, they're both kind of abreast of what's happening in both cities. So,
Yes.
it almost makes Terry feel like he's on an even playing field with Meech, even though it's clear to like all of their suppliers that Meech is still kind of the head honcho. It
Yes.
still kind of makes Terry feel like he's doing that. So I honestly say you guys have done a great job these first three episodes of kind of doing it that way.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so listen, I know that this is a drama and I know that it's, serious subject matter and it has a lot of heaviness, but there are some hilarious one-liners. Like truly, you have to catch them and I am laughing. So were you advocating a bit this season to drop a few more of those into these episodes?
Yeah, no. I mean, Randy Huggins, who created the show and who's from Detroit, he's hilarious. So we're always trying to find the humor, and we didn't have Lamar this season. So season two, right? You had so much humor with Donnell Rawlings and Kofi. So we're like, damn, okay, we got to find those moments in season three. So we have a lot of really funny people in our writers' room too. So it's always fun to read a script and laugh out loud also.
Yes, yes. And honestly, thank goodness Lamar is not. Please, the way Lamar just had me so nervous every single episode, I was like, please, I can't deal with that kind of anxiety this season. But I mean, I guess I still am with Henry. So there's
Yes. Henry's a great new villain.
Yes, yes. And so lastly, I really just wanted to ask, we've been kind of leading up to this point where Meech and Terry don't talk for years.
Mhm.
And so that is kind of something that obviously like Meech never really wanted. He's constantly talking about how they're family first, no matter what happens,
Yep.
they're always going to have each other's backs. So can you share a little bit about what fans can expect from Meech and Terry's journey and will we finally see why they fall out for so many years? Was that coming this season?
We're planting the seeds of it, but no, because we just love seeing them together, you know? What you will see is them come together in very unexpected ways.
Ooh, I like this teaser. Well, listen, I just have adored this show so much, and this season just comes in so, so hot. It's so good, and
Thank
I truly cannot wait for audience to see it. And listen, if you want to slide me a few extra screeners, I won't tell anyone because I need to know what happens.
You're not the first person to say that, just so you know.
Listen, let me just start off by saying Detective Jen literally has a new partner every season since she stepped on the scene.
So
And like
far.
obviously it's not her fault. It really has a lot to do with forces out of her control. But I
Yes.
am loving the partnership that happens in season three between your two characters. So can you both share how this new partnership, between the detectives really changes them, not only as women, but as detectives trying to clean up the streets of Detroit? And I will start with you, Kelly.
I feel like season two, Jin is the new girl and Brian is there just testing her and coming in as a woman, especially, right? And I feel like season 3, the tables are turned. Where Bryant's gone, there's this new partnership. I become the one who's testing Colby and seeing whether or not she deserves to be here. She's like this rich girl whose father has a very high standing in society, and I feel like she's just there as like a rebellion against her family. And so yeah, there's a little bit of testing, and then there's also a great partnership, these women, this sisterhood that really forms.
Absolutely. I think there's they both want some of the same things. And I think you're gonna see that. Number one, they're both extremely passionate about what they're fighting for and what's happening within this community and what's happening on the streets. They really are both passionate about that. So yes, Amberson has to prove herself a little bit in the beginning to Detective Jim, but they both have that passion. So they're coming in with that. You're going to see that. They also are both extremely layered. So you're going to see, they are able to bond and connect over these layers. And I think that's what like opens the door to Jen actually being able to accept Amberson on another level. It's deeper than the work. I think it gets deeper than the work. And that's like something that's going to be fun to see.
Oh, I love that. And so, listen, I have to ask because obviously in season 2, Jen's partner wasn't entirely, I don't know if I'm going to call him dirty because, there are a lot of layers involved. Well, truly, like in season 1, he definitely was dirty. But in season 2, there are kind of a lot of things happening. And so I don't know if I can confidently say that he's fully dirty.
Right.
But what I know is that Jen sacrifices a lot for him. So, will she have to sacrifice anything for Emberson in season 3? Because I find that like Jen is very loyal, like she is kind of ride or die for her partners. So, is that going to happen in season 3 between your two characters? And also, is anyone else hiding anything, in terms of being a part of the BMF crew? Because I'm like, if I feel like there's so many different people. Is anyone hiding anything?
I think that in this season, Jin is having to really hide a lot of what's going on with Bryant from Emberson. And I think she really likes Emberson as a person. She's grown to really like her, and this partnership is really a bond. But then she's got that secret where she can't let her know, some of the things that she's done, because it's just she doesn't know if she can trust her completely. And so yeah, there's a lot of tension within this bond, but she has to do what she has to do in order to survive and save Kevin, save Brian, and save herself.
Listen, I don't know if Brian is worth it. And maybe I'm
But
sorry.
Kevin is
I,
worth it.
yes, Kevin is definitely worth it. He is a child, but I don't
Yeah.
know if Brian is worth all of the struggle and the drama. And listen, Morgan, I'm just gonna say I hope Emerson doesn't get caught in the crosshairs or the crossfires of what is happening. Even though Jen is trying to do the right thing for Kevin, I'm gonna put Brian aside. Even though, she's trying to do the right thing for Kevin, I just hope it doesn't all, kind of implode. But listen, I've only seen the first 3, so I'm not sure, but I cannot wait to see the remaining episodes of this season and just see how everything plays out. Listen, oh my gosh, this show is no stranger to complex familial relationships. And your characters definitely add to that. So can you share a little bit about the power struggle and dynamic between Henrietta and Blaze this season? And will business get in the way of blood? Because although they're family, I'm always asking, can they truly trust each other? And I'll start with you, Ren.
Oh man, what a great question. And I think business the business that Blaze and Henry are in is the blood business. So it's gonna be a hard one to not have that Venn diagram intersect. And I think that specifically for Henry is going to prove that she is worthy of her birthright. worthy of her blood, familial birthright, um, and wants the approval of that from the father. And while there are so many tensions around Henri's existence and why she's here, the things she does, I mean, why her mother may or may not be there, and all of those pressures added, it shapes the way that she views what business is and what looks like.
Ooh, I like that. And what about for you, Christopher? Will business get in the way of blood, and can they truly trust each other? Because it seems like Blaze is really not letting Henri thrive, in the way that she wants to quite yet.
Well, that's a matter of trust. One has to earn it before it can be given. And that is at the core of this conflict between blood and business, Blaze and Henrietta. I know as Blaze, this world. I know the pitfalls, I know the traps. Henrietta doesn't have the same amount of experience, the same level of understanding about the givens in this ugly, ugly, difficult, dangerous world. And until I see that as Blaze, then we have issues. Then business and blood are going to be a problem.
Ooh, okay. So it definitely sounds like Blaze is protecting Henri a little bit, whether or not she knows it yet. So, okay.
I think that's well said, and that's what I've talked about before, is that I think people might misunderstand that love, family, protection, connection is underneath all of the conflicts. It's there. It's there in a big way. But there are also the frustrations. There are also feelings of betrayal and so many other things. But nevertheless, the love is present.
Ooh, I like that. Man, I cannot wait to see more of what happens between Henri and Blaze. Like, I'm like, y'all could have gave me more than 3 episodes, so leaving me on the edge of my seat. The men in this family make decisions often without regard for how they will impact the women overall. And both of you are in the crosshairs, but especially Nicole. So, Laila, can you share a little bit about how Nicole finds her own agency this season and stands up for who she is and her choices and what she wants, kind of outside of the shadows of her brother's decisions?
Absolutely. I mean, this season with one of them, being gone out of Detroit in Atlanta for most of the season, it makes things a little bit easier for her because everyone is sort of spreading out anyway, and so she kind of is able to, except for mama, she's sort of able to sort of make her own decisions and fly under the radar a little bit and explore who she is and find out what she wants. I always say everything from her fashion choices this season to the decisions that she makes it's all Nicole just trying to find herself. And so I'm really excited for fans to see that growth this season.
Ooh, I can't wait because she deserves, those brothers of hers, baby, they get her in trouble. And she's like, I didn't even do anything. I'm minding my business. Like, and so my next question is for you, Michole. Can you talk a little bit about the evolution of Lou and Nicole's relationship this season? Because, I've seen the first 3, and Lou is really taking ownership of who she is and who she wants to be in this new season. And that means taking this marital separation seriously. So, and that means potentially dating, I should say, as well. So how does this kind of shift the family dynamics, especially between her and Nicole? And how does Lou get to return to herself this season?
Wow, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna say I think that that Lucille's journey this season really parallels with Nicole a lot because she's like Nicole is this young kid that's like discovering new things about herself as a teenager. And now I, as Lucille, I'm in this brand new place and it's like I'm budding and going, oh my God, like what is this, or what does this feel like? I'm discovering all these new things. And unfortunately, it's challenging because I am not able to fully recognize all of that Nicole. So it's hard for me to like have that kind of compassion for her as she's growing. So we really butt heads a lot because I want her to I still see her as a kid, and and she getting fast and sassy and doing all this stuff, but I'm kind of getting the same way. And so we butt heads sometimes because we're so much alike, but we find our way in it. We find our way.
Well, listen, I hope Nicole doesn't take her foot off her mama's neck a little bit, and be like, now listen, mom, you getting in the streets too a little bit, So I hope they, have some honest conversations about it.
Don't come for me, Nicole. Don't come for me.
Listen,
Mama,
I'm not getting Nicole in trouble.
Right. Just the facts. I told you.
That's right. No, I'm just joking. It's all respect. It's all love. We cannot get Nicole in trouble. So no,
she get herself in trouble.
Right.
She get herself. She got a mouth on her.
I know.
It's true. But
She thinks she grown.
She
thinks she grown. So I have to check her sometimes.
Growing.
Right. Growing. Okay.
Right. Just grow, just a little bit of the growing pains, not grown. Right, of course. Well, listen, I can't wait for fans to see this season. I mean, I'm absolutely loving it. I can't wait to see the rest. And I just love y'all's relationship so much and y'all's dynamic. So can't wait for everyone to see season 3. And there's a quote that says, "Trouble seems to follow Meech everywhere he goes." So do you find that to be the theme for season 3 as he kind of expands his territory in Atlanta?
Yes, definitely. Meech is leaving his hometown where he grew up, going to Atlanta, a whole new environment. He has to meet a whole new family, a whole new set of people, So it's definitely scary, but he's fearless, Meech.
Yeah, definitely fearless. That is for sure. And it seems like no matter what, though, every single season, T and Meech are always kind of neck and neck, But Meech is always reminding him that they're family first and nothing can break them. But ultimately, we see that's not true because something does. So we've seen a lot of lead ups, but in season 3, will we finally get to dive into why they stopped talking for years?
Have to wait and see. I don't want to spoil them. I don't want to spoil anything, but they're brothers. They've always, went back and forth, but they've always stayed close, and they have definitely went times without talking to each other. But definitely keep watching season 3. You'll find out more. I don't want to spoil everything, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I'm like, listen, it's always like they stop talking, but they come back together. But this feels like an extreme amount of time. So I truly can't wait to see what happens. And so, obviously, with this story being inspired by your family, has there ever been any hesitation about revealing too much? Or particularly in this season, were you chatting with Heather like, nah, we can't do that, but let's maybe add a little bit of this?
My father and my family, they talk to the writers, Heather, about everything. I really don't know. I'm just the actor. I just find out when the script's done.
Okay, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. You said, listen, my dad is managing that on the back end, and I'm just stepping into his shoes on screen, and I totally love it. Well, listen, I I've only seen the first 3, but y'all come out super hard on these first 3 episodes. So when I tell you I can't wait to see the rest, I truly cannot. And just thank you so much for taking the time to chat with Nerdophiles. We really, really appreciate it and can't wait for everyone to see season 3.
Thank you for the support. We appreciate you.